Merhabalar. Bugün Blockchain Punks'ın yeni bölümünde Everstake'ten Bohdan aramızda. Bugün ne yazık ki fiziksel olarak yapamıyoruz bu programı. Çünkü kendisi Amerika'da ve uzaktan aslında staking platformları, institutional staking dediğimiz kurumların elindeki tuttukları tokenları aslında stake ederek bir yield gelirinden elde edebilmelerini sağlayan ve sistemin, network'ün security'sini aslında destekleyen bir yapımız var. Staking diye geçiyor bu. Burada da Everstake dünyadaki top 10 şirketlerden bir tanesi. Milyar dolarlık aslında üstünde aset var. Bugün öyle staking üzerinden bahsedip aslında bu alanda da birazcık fikir almaya çalışacağız. Türkiye'de Everstake gibi bir şirket yok diyebilirim. Ama ileride yasal zeminin de oluşmasıyla birlikte doğacaktır. Bundan sonrasını İngilizceye dönüyorum. Hi Bohdan. Well,
Hello.
thanks for coming and and then having this meeting with me today. I gave a brief about who are you? You're from Everstake and what you do. But I want.
Yeah, I understand everything. No worries.
Okay. I want to ask the first question. Of course, please tell us about yourself. What you do, and then Everstake. I mean, I want to hear because you provide some services. After hearing your services, I'm gonna jump into some details about staking and validator business and nodes and where it goes.
Yeah, like in the very beginning, I want to say thank you so much for the invite. It's very important for me. Turkey is one of my favorite country to visit. Actually, the best food is only Turkey. So Istanbul is like the best place. So yeah, thank you so much. In case of who I am, what we are doing, and so on. My name is Bohdan. You can call me Bo. I am COO at Everstake. Everstake is, in simple words, a staking company. Basically, we're just securing the networks, proof of stake and delegated proof of stake networks, and helping with the infrastructure. In simple words, we started maybe around 7 years ago. At the time, we created one of the first crypto exchange in Ukraine, in Kyiv. But as soon as Binance comes to our market, Binance smash us in a couple of months just because of they have no KYC.
I think Binance did this for all
everybody.
But in Turkey, for example, probably BTC Türk, right? It's one of the the big, but it is still there. I mean, BTC Türk is, as far as I know, still number one in Turkey. Probably the branding, I believe. It's very clear, right? Bitcoin Turkey, BTC Türk.
Yeah. So with us, it unfortunately happens in a different way. We at that time we had the KYC and we have some fees, but Binance no. That's why users just flow there. And we decided to shut down the exchange. It was almost 8 years ago. And then around 7.5 years ago, we launched Everstake. At that time, it was only one proof of stake, not only one, but only one, no less that everybody knows, a proof of stake blockchain. It was EOS. And we decided, just because we have infrastructure based on exchange, we decided to launch a validator on the EOS. So in simple words, what is validator? Validator, it's can be companies or entities, actually the same like miners in a Bitcoin, who just sitting around the world and just signing transactions. So our main job is to take a transaction, take a look at this transaction, it's okay or not, put into a block and sign this block. Then another validator does the same, and one by one. Sometimes we sign transaction the first lead role, sometimes it's just checking after other validators. This is how it works. So we launched Validator on EOS, and in a couple of months, we become on a top position on a list of validators, and we decided to, it's something that we can work with, and we decided to launch additional validators on Tethers, on Cosmos, on Solana, then a couple of years on Ethereum, and so on. So right now, we one of the biggest validator globally. We definitely have some competitors that like us or not, but anyway, it's quite competitive stage. I guess we can talk about this more. later.
Yep.
But our main job is protect the network, check all transactions as much as we can, sign blocks, and take participation in the governance. So in most cases, when blockchain or users wants to change something, in most cases, validators is the guys who vote yes or no.
This is, I think, very important part. I mean, you,
One of the most important.
yeah, I mean, because you are right now securing the network because you are, running lots of validators in different chains. How many chains right now? It is more than
So it's right now it's more than 75. It's
5 chains.
exactly number where you can stake with us your own tokens.
Mhm.
But during all this time, like more than 7 years, we checked more than 200 to 250 chains, like from scratch, from the beginning to like some
But this
sunset.
is
All
the
depends.
only service Everstake gives to the customers, right? I mean, I am, you are my partner, you are staking my tokens on behalf of me and you are running the validators.
And they have a few. Yeah.
And this is the only service. I mean, and I think this is a huge business because in terms of security, I believe. I mean, how it works, because you are not taking my tokens custody. This is what I know.
Yeah.
Very important, and I think for the institutions, this is a number one requirement, right? So how it is going on? I mean, how you don't get the custody, but you can stake my token and get rewards. And I think you are getting a fee, a small fee, because to running this, of course, for your operational costs. So how it works?
Yeah. Let me explain, like maybe from the scratch. It's really much easier to understand. Let's took some like easy example: Solana, Cosmos, Ethereum, whatever. Like if we compare Bitcoin and Solana, for example, in Bitcoin, that guys have chance to sign a block and receive rewards who have like a biggest computer power, like some huge data centers and so on.
Yeah.
In the staking, it's totally opposite. You don't need to have like some huge machines somewhere in Asia or Europe or like whatever. You have to have like support of your community. What it means? It means it looks like similar like president election. So we have to go to a market like Everstake and say, guys, please vote for us. It's the same like stake for us, and we will try to give you as better reward, as better service, and protect your own interest in case of governments. What means voting or staking? Actually the same. Users have to lock or freeze their token in their own wallet. So that's why it's the beauty of a blockchain, and that's why the beauty of proof of stake blockchain, and that's why we like Everstake like this particular like focus, because we don't have to touch customers' money, and it was like in custody with the exchanges, for example. So we are not exchange definitely, and we are staking. It looks like banking deposit, but it's not, because it's fully decentralized. So in case of, if we can compare staking in a bank, when you take some money, put it in a bank and waiting for some percent, some APR during like some years, it's similar to staking. When you stake your tokens, you freeze your tokens in your own wallet. It's never leave your wallet, you just freeze. And validators can use this like voting power, just like rights to use this like number of tokens.
But the only problem, I have a question here.
Yeah.
Only risk, I think, if there is a penalty,
Yeah.
my staked or freezed or deposited token is at risk. I mean, because the network, let's talk about Ethereum, for example. Ethereum, the core or the software or whatever you call, I mean, the main Ethereum software decides that, okay, there is a problematic activity and I'm giving a penalty. So it has that right? On
of
the
course.
system. But you cannot, withdraw or spend or transfer, as a staking company. You only use this deposited locked amounts to be able to, I think, have the, the voting power, as you said. So
vote
yeah.
vote on your behalf. So actually it's similar to mining stuff, but works a little bit different way. So we don't have access to your funds. The ones he thinks it's, you're right, penalty. I would call it slashing.
Yep.
What means slashing? Slashing in most cases, it's a bad behavior of your validator. Let's imagine one node who signed in a blocks just shut down and you was just able to connect another node or two nodes connected at the same time. It's going to be double slashing when you try, double signing when you try to sign the same block with 2 times. And this can be a penalty. That's why for users, it's very important to choose like professional validators and choose the best validators like on the market. And it's for us, it's like for everybody, it's very easy to understand who is a good validator or not. Take a look at uptime, go to a deep dive, some documents and find out some validators who had slashing before or not, and so on. But yeah, it's not that big problem where you can be slashed. In some network, it's like a couple of percent, but it happens, I know, almost, couple of times of during like couple of last years with some particular validator who loses their like possibility to. Yeah.
What is the in your opinion or in your view? What is the biggest risk in terms of security? I mean, keeping your network, I believe, right? Not the tokens, because you don't own the tokens, so there is no risk. That your customers cannot lose their tokens. But what about your security? What is main, concern?
Yeah, in most cases, the beauty of proof of stake blockchain is that if something happens with Everstake, for example, or even with like top 5 validators, nothing happens because all other validators can be in charge and work with the network and so on, and nothing happens.
Yeah.
To kill the network, as for example, to kill Ethereum, we have to kill like 1 million validators right now. It's almost impossible because they are spread around the world, of course. Of course, they some sitting in some data centers, but even if you shut down data centers, like in our case, we have 13 more data centers. So it means that you have to shut down everything. So that's why we are not so carried about all this stuff. We, of course, also have penalties, and our penalties mostly coming from our fees because we take a fee from on top of staking rewards that user get. Yeah. And sometimes we also can be like for bad behavior, not only Everstake, but any other validator can also be jailed or about something like that. But I would choose more risk for user side, because user have to know how to protect their keys and have to protect their assets in their own wallet. It could be a mobile wallet, it could be like a hardware wallet or so on, because the biggest problem is here. Sometimes I don't want to say that users are uneducated or not. It's problems that scammers become more and more aggressive and become better and better every day, and it means that users have to be also become better and protect their funds in the better way. Like in our cases, for example, we had all these attacks, I know, every week, sometimes every day, sometimes some guys
trying to attack, I believe, not Everstake wallets. I think they trying to penetrate your network and shut your validator down, right?
Sometimes doing this like DDoS attacks on some other services, but sometimes as well they try to attack other people, and they try to attack people who stake with us. So it depends, different ways to find out the way how to shut down everything or how to make some penalties and so on. But in most cases, all good, because we know how to do and how to mitigate all these risks as well. The biggest problem that I would say is user security. So they have to put their own key somewhere in a secure place. They don't have to connect their all wallets to each website that they find out on the internet. So it's very important.
I think you mentioned about it is very hard to take Ethereum network down because millions of validators, you need to take it down or hack or attack. But what is your view on validator set centralization thing? Because in major proof of stake networks like Ethereum, Cosmos, Solana, I believe it's a delegated proof of stake, right? I mean, I think permissioned people, maybe 100. Also in Cosmos, I think in top 100 validators, if you have the most votes, probably. So there is a centralization risk, no? I mean, and also as Everstake, you are running billions of, dollars amount of, token, and you are carrying this, and you're staking and validating. You're also one of the major players. So what you do is very important, but also brings some risks, no?
Yeah, like let me explain. In most cases, when you hop to our website or to any of our competitors' website, you can see, like in our case, like 6 billion and the staking management, like a lot of nodes, like 45,000 nodes and so on. But if you combine all together, and in our case, our stake holds only 2% of the whole market.
Mm-hmm.
And we have like any other guys like Pigment, Kiln, Black Demon, P2P, and so on. They also around the same numbers. If you combine all of us, like top maybe 50 validators, the main like top 50 main validators is gonna be maybe 25%, I should say, the network. So it's not that big. But if you take a look at some big guys like Binance, like Coinbase, like some big guys like that, like Coinbase have around like 15 or 16% market share.
This is not about only about, Everstake or your competitors. As you said, there are, for example, we are going to talk about also liquid staking, like these liquid staking derivative platforms also, bring, and also right now layer 2 for Ethereum, for example, with risk staking, it play. So it opens a new verticals in terms of scalability and innovation. But what is your view? I mean, okay,
well,
not the holding the keys, but as you said, it's somehow the Binance, Coinbase, etc. These guys are, I think, becoming a monopoly every day.
Yes and not. The best point in a proof of stake and delegated proof of stake blockchain is that winner cannot take all. We cannot find out some validator or some entity who holds more than like 7 or 10% of the market. Maybe Coinbase with Ethereum, yes, but all others, no, not so big. Of course, Lido, huge one, but Lido distributes his stake between like 30 validators. That's why I am not worried about Lido at all, because Everstake is also part of the Lido. All other validators part of the Lido, like on the backend. But in most cases, people don't know that, so that's fine. But like it's totally different stories. We just have to take different cases one by one. Like Cosmos, for example, it's around 200 validators. What's like top 50, top 60 controls the whole network? Yeah, okay, it's true. But if there is no like top 10, top 20 professional validators, there's nobody who will take charge of governments, voting, and so on, and all this what's happening like in the Cosmos or in like Solana. Solana is totally different stuff. It's around like 1,000 validators. Of course, top 100 or top 50, the main guys in the network, they have the biggest market share and so on. But these guys, of course, they have the biggest rewards. But in most cases, these guys testing all updates, upgrading the network, doing all this story shit like that they have to do like during the all nights and so on. Mm-hmm. So I not worry about this. Of course, if maybe not, I'm not the best person because I am on opposite side, yeah. But but for the last 6, 7, 5 years, nothing bad happened. Even that we have in Binance or Coinbase or those big guys, because it's in some way impossible that Coinbase can manage everything. As soon as you can see that, like, let's imagine Coinbase have like, I don't know, half of the stake in Solana, what it means? It means that Solana dead sooner or later. The people decided like to leave and so on.
You always need services like, what you provide, as Everstake. In my opinion, somehow market industry should find a way to put, different, players, as you said, competitors, because it is good for the network centralization. There shouldn't be only one company. In my opinion, this power should be delegated. And if someone tries to attack, I'm not talking about, these companies, it also shouldn't create a single point of failure, when someone attacks a couple of companies network, Ethereum shouldn't be down. So this is
Yeah.
the most problematic scenario. But in the end, I believe for Ethereum, I can say, I mean, I'm reading about, what Vitalik says. He's trying to push forward like home staking, people should participate more. I think they are going to try to decrease the 32 Ethereum, right? The minimum requirement to stake amount, etc. We are going to see how it's going to go. But as you said, so far, everything was okay and safe. And I want to, a little bit deep dive about, because a little bit touch this risk taking thing, Can you give some brief what is risk taking, which is a new concept? I think with Eigenlayer, right? Last 1 year, we start talk about this. If you can explain what is risk taking and how is how Everstake see risk taking protocols and so I think this is a good question because people probably seeing what is risk taking because it says delegating the security of Ethereum to do new applications, but if you can give simple explanation, it's well.
Before, like just one point before we step into risk taking, just a couple of ideas about Ethereum. 32 Ethereum is too much, and in most cases, nobody has that much amount to have like at home. And that's why we like build our own solution where you can stake starting from 0.1 Ethereum, and so it's just bullet solution. Of course, they can minimize and decrease from 32 to 16, but anyway, 16 is a lot. So that's why. They're like, and in case of like doing own staking with Ethereum, so like when people just have to run their own nodes, yeah, it's possible. But for just general people, like especially for me, I don't want to do that because it's too complicated.
Yeah,
it's better. For me, it's better stake with
Rocket
Validator.
Pool, somehow gives an opportunity for you.
Yeah, you can with some.
You can stake small amount, so they are making a pool, right? That kind of a model they have. It is not a LSD, I believe. You are.
No, it's LSD. It's LSD as well. You have like a comeback some token.
Again, I understand. Okay, so Rocket Pool was the idea as far as I remember. You are combining together, all your tokens and making 32 Ethereum, and they are running the validator on behalf of you or something like this. It was the idea.
Yeah. So because like just sitting somewhere at home, it can be complicated. Let's imagine you don't use in some data centers. You're using your own Wi-Fi, and in a couple of days it shut down. Bam, that's it. You slashed.
Yeah, it is.
So that's right.
The incentives, I believe, it is for people, who is in it, and I should participate with a smaller amount, but they need to find a solution. We do flashing activities, I believe. I don't know how, but. Because as you said, 32 Ethereum is right now more than $60,000. So it is not small amount of money for people just to put stake and get 5% or something, right? Yearly. 3 right now. So 3%, which is, against inflation, and you are keeping the, Ethereum risk. So right now I can check the results, one last Ethereum price dropped down. So I am spending my time, hardware, and putting my money, losing again inflation, and it is not, reasonable. So I think this was the reason why liquid staking tokens, emerged, because people doesn't want to take the, price risks of the tokens, so they are borrowing some token in DeFi.
And this is very good way to start to talking about restaking, because guys stake it, guys like have some derivative back, and then some guys realize, I haven't like liquid token, the same like Ethereum, and anytime I can take my Ethereum back. So it means that I can take this derivative and locked one more time and have additional profit on something on top of something. And then some guys decide, I can do one more time and one more time and one more time. And then another guys appear and said, don't do that. We can do like some easier way when we can find out some specific project, some small project that need additional value, but they don't need to use like Ethereum or whole, but they need some small portion of stake at Ethereum, for example. And let's imagine we can create like hundreds of some small projects that needs this. And this project, based on their revenue, can give you some top reward, like rewards on top of staking rewards. They can give you something more, and it means that after you stake your tokens, you get back your derivative. You can stake one more time, and this project or projects can give you additional reward. So it's how like some ideas about staking.
The simplest explanation, I believe, making a derivative of staking.
For another day,
yeah. And this derivative, I can use this derivative to secure my network, because EigenLayer, for example, another protocol, let's say, who helps me to use this security, because it brings this LST tokens into his protocol and gives some, I believe, services, APIs, some applications that can build on top of that. So it is for myself, I don't need to run a validator or anything, as a project. It's an application, and I'm using Ethereum's validation services, I believe, by with their help. So this was the idea. So how do you think Everstake? How are you gonna position yourself, for example, in terms of risk taking?
So in the case of no, it's we started from the very beginning. As soon as EigenLayer appeared, we started becoming like one of the validators as well, but to say operators as well.
Yeah.
And inside of EigenLayer, we have a lot of AVSs. So AVS is additional projects that you have to take part in. Some of them we took part, some of them not. Right now we have like maybe top 10 where we operate like operator. You can stake inside this like small AVSs with us. You can come to us and we can build your own AVS if you need. We also doing this and so on. The main point here, and you asked it before, like a couple of minutes ago, that what we're thinking about the risk taking and so on. For general user, like me and you and so on, it's something that the new technology, new innovations that we have to try. But it's, I should say, too early for some big guys, some institutional, because they don't know how it works. They complicated. Everything was complicated, and also binary slashing. What it means? It means that you can be slashed for 100%. So when we combine normal staking, when you can be slashed like for a couple of percent, and we know how to secure everything, it's okay. But in case of risk taking, that's why we don't persuade more and more guys to do it. Like right now, let's do risk taking because binary staking. Of course, we can have on top of that insurance that can secure you and so on. But as soon as you have some additional steps, it becomes too complicated to explain for some guys. Do these rewards worth it or not? Right now, when price drops, maybe not. When price goes up, yeah, definitely. So it depends. I don't want to be that I am like saying, hey, it's bad stuff, don't do it. I just showing like some.
Yeah, that's why I want to ask about, a question, risk taking. What are use cases right now? Do we know, or do you know any project right now using, for example, EigenLayer or any other risk-taking company services to build something, useful?
Yeah, in case, I should say that it's a very, very early stage. It's a very, very beginning. So we have to see something big, like, I know, in a couple of years. Not now, because it's just testing phase. Even this slashing that I told like just a second ago, it's not implemented yet, because everything on the testing phase. And if imagine that we will implement this binary slashing like right now, it means that like half of guys will dead, because it's just early technology, and it's too early to do something like that. But in case of some big guys that we working on with, it could be, as for example, AVS on Infura network. So Infura is one of the biggest RPC networks we have on Ethereum. They launched their own AVS. I heard also some AVS about near network. So based on near rewards, they built AVS on top of near rewards, and you can stake near, and then you can restake also Ethereum and have additional rewards from near network as well. So they have quite good solutions, as far as I remember. Virex Wallet created quite good solution for their customers who using their credit cards, like cards based on like crypto, where you can pay like with a card, but expenses goes from crypto and so on. And they, thanks to AWS, they somehow, I don't know how it works, sorry for that, but based on AWS, like they somehow track all these customers and all this money, how it's going back and forth. It's much, much easier and faster. But as I said before, it's early, like too early, just very beginning. But as soon as a layer appear, additional projects appear as well. We have Symbiotic. I don't want to say this like copy or some, but it's similar project as well. It's also based on Restake and Ethereum. As soon as they appear, more and more people started thinking about Bitcoin staking and Bitcoin restaking. And right now we have Babylon, we have Exact Network, and we have Core. So where you can stake all of these three, you can stake Bitcoin. And in case of Babylon, for example, you stake Bitcoin and they take security from Cosmos network, and you should have some rewards in a couple of months, I guess.
I think this is something, I think I also agree. Industry needs to, think about, because there is huge amount of, value in wrapped Bitcoin, synthetic Bitcoin, on other chains. So this is not real Bitcoin. So
Yeah.
it is a liquid staking token, very similar to that, right? Because we need to, so industry is putting money and they accepting it, it is a synthetic version of Bitcoin. So I agree. And also in Turkey there is Strea. Maybe you heard them.
Yeah, I heard.
They are doing a layer 2 on Bitcoin, BitVM. They actually built, some virtual machine on Bitcoin. So they also believe that, we can build an ecosystem, around Bitcoin security, because it is the, I think it carries the most value in crypto ecosystem right now. But it is not easy. So that's why I believe there are not too many players, as you said.
Yeah.
There was maybe 5 to 10, but most of them I think gone or dead. I don't know. They couldn't raise money, but right now there are 2-3 players. They are real, raised good amount of money. I believe in next 2-3 years they have a runway to develop a solution, but let's see. So what about so we talk about staking, and as a end user I can do this, but most of your users probably are companies, institutions, but I believe maybe 20-30% or maybe more there are also customers that real people, right? They have some amount of tokens, Ethereum. Which chain is the number one right now for Everstake?
So in case of Everstake, it's actually a strange story, because in the very beginning we started more like retail validator. For us, I have to be honest and straight. For us, it was very hard to persuade some institutional from Europe or from US, especially from Europe, to stake some big number in like 5 years ago with the Ukrainian company who sit in middle of nowhere. And we decided to choose a different path, and we started with the retail guys. So we started to, chain by chain, we started to educate people what is staking, how it works, why you need staking, what is the security problems, and so on, so on. And we created like thousands of material also explaining how everything works. In Turkey as well, like we have some coverage as well. And at that time, right now we have around like 700,000 retail guys who just stake with us. Because at that period of time, like a couple of years ago, we were very helpful for them because we explained a lot about staking. And they just decided, when they look at the list of validators, they see, Everstake, I heard something because I read some stupid article from them. Let's choose them. That's it. So that's why. And then when more and more our teammates and employees become like not only in Ukraine but in US and Europe, and we become like more like global company, we started working on with institutional as well. Some custody, some exchanges like Copper, custody, like Anchorage Digital Custody, BitGo, OKX, some even Binance some time ago stake with us and so on. They also become like using our staking services or sometimes white label. But right now it's around 50-50. So 50% case of stake amount, it's like retail, another 50% it's institutional. But in this retail, some of them is big whales that we don't know. Some of them we know who just come to us and said, I want to stake this asset with you. Is it okay or not? Okay, and that's it. And if we take a look at the networks, Ethereum, of course, the biggest one in case of value. The biggest one in case of retail guys, it's Solana, because it's more than 200,000 guys taken with us just only in Solana. Of course, it's not that big amount. Like some of them said 1 SOL, 2 SOL, 5, 10, whatever. The same story with Cardano, for example. I know that right now nobody talk about Cardano, but it's a huge ecosystem. They have their own religion, they sit in their own bubble, but anyway, there are a lot of guys there and they stake with us. Also a lot of guys in Cosmos, more than 75,000 people who stake in Atom with us as well. So, but if I should put one by one, it will be Ethereum, Solana, Cardano, Cosmos.
Cardano is interesting. I didn't know that, that much people and community.
A lot of. Charles Hoskinson, like 4 or 5 years ago, Charles Hoskinson was great and like done a great job when he tried to educate and grab as many guys. So it's really a huge community. The other problem is that they're not moving so fast. It's an additional problem, but it is how it is.
So I have a couple of more questions in my mind. For example, because we talk about most of the things about staking, risk staking, liquid staking, and decentralization risks. I'm just checking my notes. And I think the other question, because there is, I think, a value and an opportunity, this MEV, maximal extractable value, because in proof of stake networks, validators has a chance, right, to get incentivized, they can change the orders, which one is gonna go first, right, into the block. I think right now on Ethereum, every 10 seconds or something, right, a new block is producing roughly. And so there is this MEV, in Turkish MEV.
The same is in Ukrainian MEV. We always say MEV.
So what do you think about, so I think there is going to be some Vitalik and the Ethereum Foundation, right? They're trying to find new ways. They're trying to put more incentives for block producers instead of validators right now, something like this. So what do you think? Because you're also, I believe, as a company, this is a revenue channel for you. Because
it's a huge revenue channel, I should say.
Yeah. So what do you think? Do you think it's gonna change? Or if it changes, so how it's gonna go? How you gonna, you and your competitors, or the players in the ecosystem is gonna react? Because it means, I believe, you need to increase your fees. This is, I think, gonna be the end results. And yeah.
Yeah. So in simple words, what means MEV? We have a line of transactions, but somebody want to send transactions faster on top of the line because he wants to sell something very fast. And he understands that he can pay higher commission, like huge amount, just to be faster. And they can do that on Solana right now, on Ethereum, and they're doing this like regularly. And what's happening then? You assign transaction like a validator. In most cases, it's a random. It's almost impossible when all top transactions go into some particular validator, because there are different MEV searchers and there are different relays who hunt this MEV and gives, like, sometimes in a random way, sometimes depends on the relay you connect. But it's additional rewards for validators. In most cases, Everstake, for example, we share in these rewards with our customers as well. So it's additional rewards for us on top of staking rewards. And just to have better rewards for delegators. We're also sharing with delegators some like the same portions. Of course, we like our biggest MEV was 265 Ethereum just once. It's a lot, but yeah.
It is a mistake, I believe, right?
What?
Probably it was a mistake for
No. It was some normal transaction. Sometimes you can. I saw some random validator who signed a transaction and got around 500 ETH just for commission. It's like a lot. So, but when you take this 200 if and divide between all delegators, it will be some small portion, yeah, it happens every day. It happens like, quarterly, monthly.
I just think that long tail is the target in here, right? Because every day millions of transactions, people are giving extra transaction fee to do that. So you are collecting small amounts, but at the end of the day, it means something, in my opinion. But as you said, 500 Ethereum, it is huge.
Huge.
I mean, to pay, just to put my order, if he wouldn't pay, how many minutes, he would wait? Or they could, maybe an hour maximum, right?
Yeah, he could wait like 20 minutes, but he can lose money. When, like, let's imagine some guy want to sell, like, I don't know, 500,000. Okay, it's almost impossible, but 500,000 Ethereum like at once, yeah, or send somewhere, or make some like swap. For him, it's very important to do it right now, not in 20 minutes. That's why.
Yeah, I agree. That's why they didn't care.
Yeah.
But yeah, what do you think if and is going to be any update against MEV revenue?
I guess not. Of course, a lot of talking. They talking a lot. Different guys, different chains, especially for the last 2 years. And right now, right now, exactly this particular time, a number of transactions go like that because there is no meme coins boom like it was previously.
Yeah.
Then, like when we have a lot of transactions and we have a lot of TVL, this MRL goes up. Right now, it's like normal. So as soon as it's normal way, nobody cares. They forgot them, and they forgetting about it at least for half a year. As soon as the market goes up as well with the more transactions, more TVL, more like some other stuff like
people are gonna start to talk again.
Yeah, so that's why I am not sure that something changed. If something changed for validators, it will be harder because having this like out of rewards, it's some good way to.
I have a question because you are the the expert in this area. So right now they are saying that block producers are not getting incentivized enough, but the verifying transactions, right? They are incentivized more. So what is the difference? I mean, you are also producing blocks, right? As Everstake, and also you are verifying it. If you are not selected randomly, right? Every 10 seconds, one of your validators maybe choose the lucky number and producing a block. In the end, what is the difference? I mean, why they are giving so much attention about producing a block should be more incentivized? Why?
I don't know where you heard this, but in most cases, everybody is saying producing blocks have to be less incentivized because all these big validators have a lot of revenue and so on. But yeah, during the uptrend, definitely we have a good amount of reward. But during downtrend and during like some bad times, nobody cares what's happening like under our hood, and sometimes we have like zero, almost zero, yeah. So that's why. And it depends on the network because each chain, I don't have to say that, but each chain wants to invent their own wheel. As for example, in Ethereum, it's like harder because you have MEV rewards, you have block rewards, you have consensus layer rewards, and so on. In like Solana, it's totally different way. Like a lot of MEV rewards as soon as meme coin goes up. In a Cosmos, it's totally different way. So you like a validator have to understand each particular type of rewards and each particular type of transactions that you have to sign and receive.
This is the great moment to ask because this was one of my questions. How do you prioritize which networks to support and push? So you gave some, actually clues about it, right? In terms of the revenue, because your customers are asking for yields per year, yearly. So you are trying to, as far as I understand, trying to find the most incentivized networks, right? But also they need to be somehow secure, and there should be a community, right? So what do you think?
Incentive, it's not on the first place. Let's imagine can be a lot of incentive, but it's scam. So we reject it. And sometimes sometimes it's saying, it's some new network. You have like a lot of thousands of dollars per month. We check docs and then nothing under the hood. We check team and it's like was scam exit previously or so on. So that's why you have to reject, because it's like for us it's our reputation. Like we can compare our reputation with some like money. That's why. So in first points have to be very well known team. Like at least they have to prove their own ability to deliver project, because with this network our customers have to stake something, and if they failed, it means that our customers come back to us and said, Everstake, what's happened? Why we stake with you for some of this random chain, and this chain failed and you failed as well, and so on. So that's why we try to be very picky.
When you put any chain in your portfolio, it means your customers, they can buy some token, hold it, right? And because you are giving a reference, as every.
Yeah.
That's why you have some responsibility about, because they are not going to lose their token, but their
Project they lose their
shut
value.
down, or they can. That's the reason I want to highlight that, because there isn't any risk, as we talked about in the beginning of the conversation. Everyone is still keeping their tokens in their wallet, but the project is just a scam project, and it's not going anywhere. So that's why it's gonna get done. I don't know.
Yeah, like like you have to understand that in most cases, we try to find out some new networks, or new networks just knocking our door and saying, hi, we're a new network, we just appear, and we have a long way to develop everything. Help us, because before running all these validator nodes on the mainnet, sometimes we're doing 2 years on the testnet and nobody knows it. Like right now we're working on with networks that not live yet and going to be live in a year or 2 and so on. As for example, with Eigenlayer, we started like 2 years ago. With Solana, we started when nobody knows what is a Solana, like 6 years ago. So that's why it's very important. So it's going to be a good team with some track record. Investment on board is also important, because it's additional due diligence from investors as well, not only from us. And have to be some technical solutions that needed right now. If somebody, if let's imagine Solana appear, a new chain come to us and said, we are new Solana, everything the same like Solana, I'm not sure that we're going to join this project, because it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
It's very important. Yeah.
And the last question of the day: which chains you think, it right now in based on your experience, because you explained me actually the which are the bullet points that you are already checking, and when I check your website, okay, I'm gonna see more than 70 so blockchain projects. But right now, probably you see a trend in terms of community, I believe. Or for example, there's a chain that I didn't know, but we are working with last 2-3 years. I don't know. Is there any new project listed last 4 months?
No financial advice. I just want to tell you which project right now we're working on the most. Babylon and Bitcoin staking.
Yeah.
Symbiotic that I told you, like retaking as well. Cordao, I told you. Aleo is like some security chain. That's a good one. Story Protocol that just launched a couple of weeks ago. Story Protocol. Berachain, definitely, just because of community and because of huge demand of guys who want to work with. So Berachain. Symbiotic, I told you. Walrus. Walrus is a chain on top of Sui. Okay. It's also just mainnet just launched a couple of weeks ago, as far as I remember. Lead Protocol. We have been working with Lead Protocol for 2 years, even maybe more.
Mhm.
It's going to be something between Solana and Ethereum. So lit protocol, a good one as well. What else? Gavelot, space and time. Is this all these chains? It's new ones. They just appear. I mean, they just appear on the radar, and in most cases, it's testnet and stuff.
Provide some technical statistics and insights to your customers as Everstake. For example, you to say, for example, Walrus, right? You said, for example, it's a chain coming in. What is the most?
So what is that? Why is this additional chain?
Yeah, I mean, for example, and also, let's say that I'm seeing a huge, jump in terms of transaction validated by Everstake, for example. Every day there's a trend, but so you give any insights. So where this transaction, activity is coming from, for example, do you have that kind of insights when you run a validator?
Yeah, we can understand this. We have quite good data science department, actually, and we try to do some reports. In most cases, we do it like internally for our own decisions and for our own research, but sometimes with these big clients, we share in these reports as well. On top of this, we do it like some public reports, like quarterly or sometimes like once a year. Just what's happening, what's the biggest, like during the whole year, where is the biggest rewards, where it's come from, and so on. And sometimes looking at this report, you can find out a gap in some blockchain, and based on this gap, new blockchain may appear. As for example, I forgot to mention Monad. I guess everybody waiting for Monad.
Everyone is waiting for them. Yes, last two years, right? So they are now in testnet, but they are planning to launch a mainnet, right?
Yes, they testnet. We also like working on with them. The same story as, for example, with Unichain. They have own chain based on Uniswap. So yeah, and everybody waiting for it because definitely for them it will be much easier to use some additional stuff. Wallet Connect, the same. They launched their own network. Well, good guys, 7 years on the market. We definitely like happy to support. So this is why. Yeah, but as soon as you said, like in case of transaction where it comes from, it depends. Like because sometimes you can find some good insights, and then you realize that based on these insights, there are already different networks doing the same or working on these directions. So
yeah, it is. It is very helpful for me. There are some chains that I didn't dig. So after the this meeting, the conversation, I'm gonna check them out. So and also I think this is a good metric and important metric for the people. Just looking to understand what's going on in blockchain ecosystem, because if there is an activity, it means that there is a user base. And for me, I don't know how I can eliminate the fake activity, of course, for any chain, but this is something people need to check before any chain they need to invest or something. I don't know, or develop something as a developer. If you're a builder, you need to. There are lots of things that you need to consider, I believe, to start build and publish something on top of them. But yes, I mean, every year right now, what you're talking about, probably these old chains you mentioned, they joined in last 1 year, right? So
yeah,
there are lots of projects, new innovations are coming up. So I think it is nice for the ecosystem, and I'm very sure about whatever people say and criticize, the decentralization, centralization problem. But we need companies like Everstake, as you said, because in the end, as a company, for institutions, I'm not talking about end users, institutions. But what are they going to do? I mean, they're going to keep their Ethereum or Solana in their wallet, so they need to participate security of the network. So they can't know. They don't have to know how.
Yeah.
So and also I believe, as I said, you are somehow at a position because of your knowledge and experience with the testnet, mainnet, the validating, the network, and etc. You're also, I believe, helping to the projects, right? In return.
Oh, we hope so. We're doing this as our main job.
Yeah, I mean, Yeah, it was very fruitful conversation, Bohdan. Do you have anything to add? I mean, I ask, I think, every question in my mind today, so it is more clear for me and the audience in Turkey, what is staking and what staking companies are doing in their daily life. So, do you have anything in mind to add?
Yeah, but a couple of points. As usual, thank you for invite. It's very important.
Yeah.
You have a vast community, and the one of my important things to say is that be very cautious about each new network's appear and what's happening around. Do your own research. It's the most important. Don't put your keys where you don't know what is that. Not your keys, not your money. Of course, it sounds like everybody knows that, but anyway, time to time we have some problems. Like last hack was an anonymous layer Bybit. Of course, it's
Yeah.
most cases not user's problem, but exchange, man. Like you can have your own wallet right now. Why need exchange at some point? So please be cautious. And like I'm very happy that I have some like good connection with the Turkish community. And like last time it was in Istanbul, two years ago, it was I forget the name of the conference in Blockchain Live maybe.
Maybe
Something like that.
really Ethereum week or something. No,
No, it definitely was Blockchain Istanbul Week or something like that.
man.
In 2023. And like we don't have a booth on the conference. I just wear the same t-shirt with just Everstake, and like dozen of guys comes to me and said, "Hi, I know you." Like some of them, I remember one guy, clearly remember one guy who said, "No English," and then he started talking with Turkish and said like, "Thank you very much for staking," and so on, blah blah blah, and disappear. So for me, it was very happy because your people is always welcome and always like,
Yeah, I mean,
so,
there's a huge, I think, crypto adoption. You can see from the charts and the statistics, and companies also started to emerge. They are trying to build something on top of. There is no layer one chain, coming from Turkey, but there are lots of projects
yeah, I know.
developing and deploying, raising money, and user base is there. We talked about this before, and there's going to be, and I think on September we are gonna launch, and also I'm gonna support the Builders Week, beginning of September, all week long. We are gonna invite projects. I'm gonna send you an invite also, and let's
Awesome.
later, man. Thank you very much, Bohdan, and see you soon.
Awesome.
Okay.
Thank you for the invite.
Yeah. Thank you. Bye.